Now, I went from thinking that God lives outside of me to knowing that God dwells in me, and therefore I'm a vessel, an expression of God. Oh, praise God. You know, I went from, living in the world and seeing myself in the world to seeing myself separate from this world. Oh, how liberating, chosen. You know what I'm talking about? I went from forcing situations to understanding that nature controls it all. And therefore, I found peace, guys. You know? Now, one of the characters of eagles, reason why we admire eagles on this channel, chosen ones, awaken the ego within, is that now an ego can live up to 70 years. Now when that ego gets to middle age, now this ego have some tough decisions to make. Now the wings are weaker. They don't fly as much as they should because this ego has obviously used them. You know what I mean? The beak doesn't work as much as it should. Now this ego goes into isolation. You see, this is why, as chosen one, we admire eagles. You see, therefore, also chosen ones, when it comes to reinventing ourselves, we go into isolation. Yeah. Now for several months, this ego goes through trauma and pain. You know what I mean? He literally breaks his old beak, on a stone like this, so that he can grow new ones. And he pokes his wings out so that he can grow new wings. Now, when this ego emerges from this isolation, he will fly higher than he ever did before, Chosens. You know what I'm saying? Now, today, for your Sunday motivation, I want to share with you how to change your narrative, guys, how to change your story. I must admit, this is a pretty big subject, but chosen ones, guys, we're serious people. We talk about issues of life. Yeah, guys, it's been said that one of the laws of power is reinvention. Chosen, today let's talk about how to do just that. And guys, today is Sunday, and this is your Sunday motivation. Let's go. Oh, hello, beautiful people of the world. This is Alula, and welcome to Awaken the Ego Within. Chosen, if you haven't subscribed by now, you're missing out. Check me out on Insta at Awaken the Ego. The link is on the channel. Yep, today's Sunday, guys. That means it's a day for motivation. I feel good. I feel wonderful, as usual. You know what I'm saying? Guys, one of the symptoms of living in the fifth dimension is or awakening, or living your life, on a high expression of you. It's like you feel elevated emotion most of the time. You know what I mean? And partly, guys, that is because I changed my narrative. Yeah. I changed my narrative in a lot of ways. I changed my story. I changed my thinking. And now my thinking, guys, is leading me. My new thinking is leading me to the way of the heavens, really. And I love it. You know what I mean? Guys, over the last decade, that's what I said. It is a pretty big subject. It's like I've been searched for new self, and it's been like a journey. You know what I mean? And now this journey is leading me somewhere that I'm really happy about, really. Basically, I'm living a life that is worthy of me. And all that began by me changing my narrative, changing my story, changing my thinking, guys. You know what I'm saying? Once you awaken, guys, once you get ego's eye view, you're gonna understand that all along your problem has been, how you looked at situation or your view on situation. You know what I'm talking about, guys? Once you change like the way you look at things that you're looking at will change. You know what I mean? Particularly, guys, in our world today, most of the war, spiritual war, is through this narrative, through this story, through this like education and all this, guys. And one of my favorite YouTubers, a lady from Kenya, says, as chosen ones, we must spend 80% of our day living in our own narrative, doing our own thing. You know what I mean? And now, let me come to an important point, guys. That's why isolation is so important for us. You know what I mean? Isolation, guys, is at the core of reinvention. Let me tell you something. You know what I mean? Because when you isolate, guys, you disconnect. When you disconnect, you're disconnecting so that you can establish who you are. Just like that ego. You know what I mean? AKA, also known as Dark Night of the Soul, guys. This is the time chosen ones are really inventing themselves. You know what I'm saying? In isolation. This is why to be alone is so hard. They said all problems of men and women in this world arise because men and women cannot sit in a room by themselves. But as chosen ones, guys, this is where we live. This is where we come to. You know what I'm saying? How the chosen ones change their narrative. But by the way, at the intro, I referenced that one of the laws of power is reinvention. All right? Chosen ones understand this. In this new world, many of you are going to be very powerful people in your own way, doing your own things. You understand what I'm saying? So that therefore, many of you are reinventing yourself. Many of you are awakening to yourself. Many of you are going to your imagination. You know what I mean? Funny enough, one of the things that began to happen to me early on my awakening was that I began to have memories of my childhood. Really, really, really. You know what I'm saying? And my imaginations came back, and now this is all about reinventing yourself. Chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? The first way, guys, is to make an agreement with yourself. Absolutely. This is why isolation is important once again. You know what I mean? Make an agreement with yourself. Tell yourself what you should be. And then make up your mind about it. And then make sure that there is no doubt in your mind, about what it is that you want to be, what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that you want to invent. You know what I mean? But the secret to all of this, guys, is emotion. You have to understand this. The way that, anything that you want, your agreement will stick with you, is to emotion. Now, let's talk about trauma, guys. The thing about trauma, guys, trauma is a spiritual disease. You know what I mean? You can either suppress it or release it. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have to make a video on this because I have an experience with that, guys. Now, the reason why this trauma was so stuck to you, chosen ones, because of the emotion that it arises within you. You know what I mean? To have an agreement with yourself, you know what I'm saying? To change your story, to really believe, to have confidence in the things that you're going to do, guys. These things has to arise some kind of emotion within you. You know what I mean? Now, emotion, guys, will reprogram your subconscious mind. What is a subconscious mind, guys? Subconscious mind is a mind of a God. Subconscious mind is an automatic mind. It's like a mind that is on autopilot. Once you reprogram this chosen, understand this, everything that you want is automatic. You know what I mean? But first, you got to make an agreement with yourself. And then you got to pursue that no matter what, guys. This is how to change your story. Seriously speaking. The moment you have an agreement with yourself, is done. Understand that. And that is spiritually. And when everything moves spiritually, when you move spiritually, chosen, it's like everything else moves. That's why liberation and attacks always start with spiritual, because that is what you really are, guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we move on, let's move on to the next point. I mean, is that now that you've established who you are, you know what I mean? Funny enough, when I said that, it took me long time to establish who I really am. Too many things that I've done, too much traveling in particular. That's why, as chosen ones, guys, we got to travel so that we can discover many things and also discover ourselves, guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, we got to continue. The second way would be, we got to continue living in that vibration. Now, the longer you stay in that vibration, you know what I mean? Once again, we're going back to emotion, guys. It's like you keep thinking about something, that thing, make sure that it arises emotion within you. And then when it arises that emotion within you, then you feel elevated. Guys, the more you stay elevated within that emotion, the more you're reinventing yourself to what you want to be. You know what I mean? That's why, as chosen ones, guys, when we reinvent ourselves, we separate ourselves because of we are very protective of our vibration. You know what I mean? When you keep on vibrating that thing, guys, the laws of life is that whatever it is that you're seeking has to also vibrate towards you. And that is how you continue to reinvent yourself, guys. You know what I mean? And most importantly is to continue to live in your narrative. To continue to, most of your day must be lived in your narrative, in your story, on the things that you want to accomplish, guys. You know what I mean? I'm at that point now. You know what I mean? I'm at a point where, like, most of my life, all my thinking, everything just is coming from me. And guys, like I said, many of you people, you're going to be very powerful people in this new awakening, in your talent, in your gifts. You know what I'm saying? And now, that is, anyway, okay guys, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Until your next vid, God bless you, man. Take care, bye-bye. Yeah.